Hey guys, WTF Blake here, and I'm here with my UA deck profile. Alright, before we get this started, I just want to say something real quick. All the UA monsters have this little effect where it is, you can select one monster on the field, select one UA monster on the field, return it to the hand, special summon that monster from your hand to the field. I just want to say that before we get started, make things a lot easier. So, here we go. I have 3 UA midfielder, and I don't like to say like you have to play a card in a deck, but you have to play this card in this deck because if you don't see this in a duel, you probably didn't win the duel. And this is your only level 4 lower UA monster, so that's why it's so important. We have 2 UA Mighty Slugger, and this card is probably my favorite beat stick of the deck because okay, so what this card does is when it attacks, your opponent can't activate anything till the end of the damage step. So unless your opponent's planning like to drop a random gorge or something, it works pretty well. And we have 2 UA Perfect Ace. This is like the best defender in my opinion of the archetype, so that's why I play 2 of him, and he's a level 5. So what this card does is on your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell trap card or a monster effect, discard 1 card, negate and destroy that card. So pretty good. I play 2 UA Dreadknocker Dunker. I just usually call him, or Dreadnought Dunker, yeah. I usually just call him Dunker, so I actually read the middle part. Anyway, so what this card does is another great beat stick, pretty much. And basically, and he's got the. No, he doesn't have the highest attack. But anyway, moving on. This card is when it does piercing damage, and when this card does any battle damage, target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So that's really good. Then we have I play 2 UA Rival Rebounder, and this card is like, in my opinion, the card I see most like played like 1, 2, or 3. You see like the most versity of, but I play that 2 because okay, so I feel like 3 is too cloggy, with at least for this build. Anyway, so this effect is when it's a normal summoned or special summon on your opponent's turn, target 1 UA monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So then I have a UA Playmaker. This card just recently made it in my lineup with Cosmos being a thing, and this has the highest attack with 26. But its effect is when a UA monster declares an attack, targeting the attacking monster. This card loses 800 attack, and the attacking monster gains 800. So great way to get over things. UA Blockbacker. This is a more of a defensive card, and in my opinion, the best defensive card. 27 defense, and its effect is when you're on your opponent's turn, when he special summons a monster, once per turn, you can put that monster defense and negate its effects. Then we have UA Goalkeeper because he's another defender card with 28 defense, and his effect is okay. I can't really read it from here, so I'm just gonna say it from the top of my head. Anyway, so when a UA monster would be destroyed, you can target that on your opponent's turn. You can target that UA monster, and it can't be destroyed for the rest of the turn. It's a quick effect too, so that helps a lot. Alright, now for the non-UA monsters, I play 2 Summoner Monk, just to go for that midfielder. You want a lot of ways to get midfielder because, like I said, don't see midfielder, you're gonna have a really tough time winning that game. Alright, so I have this card right here. I really don't want to be playing this card, to be honest, but with Rhoda being hit to 1, that was a big hit to this deck. I needed something because the consistency was just down. This deck was just hard to play. So I needed something. This is the card I found, the best to do the job, and it works. But when this card's normal or special summon, choose one level 4 or lower warrior type monster from your deck, except for this card, and place it on top of your deck. So, great way to get midfield. You don't get them right away, but you get them next turn. And also, say like in the game when I have Summoner Monk just in my hand chilling, I can play him, get him out, and go for a rank 4. And finally, with my monsters, I have Glow Up Bulb. This is just to add the synchro mechanic to my game. Just you don't really go to extra deck much, but it's good to have. I have found it games where it's very useful. I've also gone a whole day of dueling without using my extra deck. Alright, then next for spells, we have UA Stadium. So, this is the field card spell. This is your attack booster. This is your searcher. And what this does is when a UA monster is normal summon, you can get one UA monster from your deck and add it to your hand. And once per turn, when a UA monster special summons, all UA monsters on field gain 500 attack. And when this card leaves the field, like the attack stays and the attack keeps stacking. So I have 2 terraforming just to get to that stadium. And terraforming, like I know a lot of people think it's cloggy, but with perfect ace, you can always have a discarding target for you. You don't get stuck of trying to decide like what's less important you have to discard. Like, if you have a stadium, you have this. I mean, it's an easy choice. Next is 3 UA signing deal. Alright, so this card has a booty load of effects. So, you can special summon 1 UA monster from your deck, but its effects are negated. It can't be used as Synchro or XYZ material. And then you lose life points equal to the level of the monster, and multiply that by 300. So, this card sounds really bad. It's not, trust me. Sorry, I just kind of shook the camera there. Anyway, so the negate its effects. Easy fix. This deck floats so much. So say I use this to get a slugger. I have a midfielder in my hand. So special summon the slugger, bring it back to my hand to special summon the perfect 8 or the midfielder hand, then slugger. So then the slugger's effects are resetted. It can use it. The Synchro XYZ material, like I said, you don't go in your XYZ deck much. I mean, you only really go in it like really tight situations where you just don't have an answer and it might be an extra deck. And also the lose your life points thing, who cares when you can search for any card in your deck. Any monster in your deck pretty much. Alright, then now for probably the most broken equip card for any archetype. 3 UA Power Jersey. Alright, let me explain to you. This card gains 100 attack or defense. Alright, you have to equip it to a UA monster. Alright, sounds pretty good. Also, when it attacks an opponent's monster, the battle damage is doubled. Alright, I'm liking this. When it destroys a monster, your monster can declare a second attack. Alright, and remember the whole effect thing where you just pop cards back to your hand? Well, the downside of this is when you next standby phase, send the monster to banish and destroy this card. The way you get around that, take the equip card, pop it back to hand, put another UA monster on the field. And also, that brings me to the next effect, and the very last. If the equipped monster returns to your hand, return this card to your hand as well. So it really just gives it a good loop. Like I have Slugger, equipped Jersey, attack, return slugger to your hand, then perfect ace, then you get this to the hand, just wait for your opponent's turn to end, and the good old rinse, wash, and repeat. Alright, then I have the Monarch Stormforth, and this card you can use your opponent's monsters for a tribute summon. I believe that's about. You can only activate it once per turn. You can't special summon from your extra deck the turn you activate this. And the reason I like this so much is because it doesn't target. That is amazing. And with all these card effects where, oh, you can't target me, I can get around you. Anyway, also say you got a hand where you have Stadium on the field, you have any card that can be used for one tribute, and you don't have that midfielder, you can use this, normal summon the monster, and use Stadium's effect to get that midfielder. Like I said, you need midfielder. I have 2 Kaiser Colosseums. If you don't know what this card does, is basically as long as I have a card on the field, your opponent can't surpass the number of monsters I have. So that's real good because with all the defensive cards, I can keep one on the field and basically lock them down. So I like seeing that in my open hand. 1 Rhoda for midfielder. 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, just because Mystical Space Typhoon can come in clutch. Then for traps, I only run 3 because this card does it all, really. It's a searcher and a good defensive card. Alright, let me explain to you. At the start of the damage step, if a UA monster battles an opponent's monster, you can banish your opponent's monster till the second, to your opponent's second end phase. And a little history on this. So, if you don't know, hockey has penalty boxes. When you get penalized, you go in the penalty box for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and for this, your opponent gets in the banish for 2 end phases. Just a little fun fact. All right, and the second effect for penalty box I use a lot more than its first effect is when this card's in the grave, banish it and target 1 UA spell card from your deck and add it to your hand. So this can happen plenty of ways. You can, if your hand gets full, discard this card. And sometimes if I have this card in my hand and I'm doing pretty good, I'll just keep drawing cards and not really playing anything and pass until I got that limit. I can just discard this and go for whatever I need. Perfect Ace effect, discard it, that works. MST it, Dunker's effect, if your opponent doesn't have anything, set this, and Dunker's effect, pop a card, and choose that. Alright, now for my extra deck, basically you can do pretty much whatever you want. Mine's full of rank 4 XYZs and synchros for each type. I really don't have a full extra deck because, like I said, I don't go into it much, so I just use what I need the most. I mean, eventually I'll fill it up, but this is what I have so far. I have 1 Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, 1 number 82, 1 number 101, 1 number 39, Misstroke, I believe it's called. Then those are my XYZs, not a full one, but you know, it gets the job done. Then for synchros for level 5, I have Armades. Sorry if I say that wrong. I'm not very good at speaking. Then I have Wolf Lord for my 6. My 7 is Black Rose Dragon, and my 8 is Console Fighter. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Alright, and so that's my profile. Like us, subscribe, comment, any suggestions, let me know, and I'll see you later. This is WTF Blake signing out for the Emoji Bros.